So I got my triple in the mail the other day. I got it off eBay. And I took it upon myself to read the Book of Moses in the Pearl of Great Price. I really enjoyed it. It gives you a lot of information. It's kind of eye-opening. The thing that was weird about it is that it ends very abruptly. It ends with God telling Noah that he's going to flood the earth. And God said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence. And behold, I will destroy all flesh from off the earth. And then I'm like, okay. I turn the page, and then I'm at the Book of Abraham. I'm like, what? Where's the next part? Did I miss a page? Did somebody tear some pages out? That's where it ends? And then I went back and I read the first couple sections of Doctrine and Covenants. And the first couple sections, it leaves you with this feeling of, whoa. If this is true, this is huge. This is really huge. Huge. But I'm not going to say any more about it. Read and discuss amongst yourselves. But the real reason I wanted to make this video is not about all that. I wanted to talk a little bit about the temple. This is not meant to be an informational video to give anyone information or educate them on the temple. To the contrary, I simply wanted to talk a little bit about my thoughts and feelings on the temple. I had somewhat of an epiphany recently concerning the temple, church, the amount of time that I spend thinking about, worrying about, being skeptical about, and overanalyzing stuff that happens in the temple. My experience is quite limited. I went once several years ago. To me, the temple is a very beautiful, very serene spiritual experience. So here's a picture of the temple that I went to. Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it just gorgeous? And I have to say that this picture doesn't even do justice to it. When I went there, I went kind of just in blind faith of, I had accepted the church. This was something the church was telling me is a good thing to do. Later on, I did kind of a dumb thing, which was I decided to try to research and discover things about the temple on my own online and such. I became very confused and very discouraged by that because the internet, people tend to take the temple and kind of take things out of context to kind of confuse you. Or maybe not with the purpose really of confusing you, but just that those people don't understand it and don't have respect for it. So at any rate, a whole bunch of doubts kind of latched on to me. And the church always talks about this theory that, if the Book of Mormon is true, then the church is true. If Joseph Smith was really a prophet, then the whole thing is true. But you have to understand that the opposite is true also, and that if you have a real strong doubt in one thing, then you may as well throw the baby out with the bathwater, because, the reverse is true as well. When you get into trying to understand complicated religious ritualism, is it right? Is it not right? Is there a biblical foundation for these things? Where is the foundation for these things? What do symbols mean? What is the power of symbolism? I mean, you can go really deep on this stuff. Back to my epiphany, at any rate. I realized that as I was sitting in Sunday school the other day, I realized I had this epiphany where it just came into my mind. I looked around me and I was like, this is it. This, what's around me right now, this is it. This is the, going to church on Sunday, church activities, spending time with the missionaries, reading the scriptures. That represents the vast majority of the time I'm going to spend expressing my faith. I'm not trying to dumb down the importance of the temple. However, realistically, The nearest temple to me is like, I think about 3 hours away. Optimally, um, at some point, if I do attend the temple again on somewhat of a regular basis is probably going to translate to something like once a year, maybe. And the amount of time that I would spend there, I don't remember exactly, maybe like 2 hours, maybe three. And then I think about all the time that I spend actually in church and doing those other things. And in my mind, I'm making like a pie chart of like this tiny, tiny sliver of how much time I may actually spend in my life in the temple versus everything else. And how much I'm worrying about the time I'm going to spend in the temple, when really shouldn't I be worrying about where I'm going to spend every Sunday morning for the rest of my life? Such like complicated feelings about such a beautiful, beautiful place. Um, but, I think that I'm going to try to rely more on my own experience with it and try to remember, how I felt and what it was like that day. I hope to someday build upon the positive experience that I did have there. And in the meantime, I guess it's kind of a comfort to me um, to know, what it is that I will be doing with the church between now and then, and the fact that I love it. I love going to church. I love reading the scriptures and spending time with the missionaries and doing things with Relief Society and the potlucks and all I love it. I really, really do.